Hello, my name is Claire Rouser, and for my EDEL 316 math computation video, I'll be using the equation 23 times 60. When estimating a two-digit multiplication equation, it is best to use numbers that are easy to work with and will allow students to not feel overwhelmed. Therefore, the estimation strategy I'll be using is the rounding method. The rounding method makes use of base 10 language and place value. For this equation, 23 is rounded down to 20, and 16 is rounded up to 20. We now have 20 times 20, which are much easier numbers to work with than 23 and 16. Using base 10 language, 2 tens times 2 tens equals 4 tens, or 400. So 23 times 16 is equal to about 400. The next step is to use base 10 blocks as shown to solve the equation and then record the pictorial representation. I will be using the area model, which is an efficient way to solve two-digit multiplication equations. 23 times 16 is represented as follows. We have 10 and 6, making 16, and we have 10 and 3, which makes 10, 20, and 3. Now that we have the answer to the equation, which is the number of base 10 blocks in the middle, which is 368, we now regroup the blocks so it is easier for the students to count them. We first take out 10 of these flats, and substitute in with another 100 flat. We then take out 10 of the 1 blocks, and substitute in another flat of 10. After arranging the base 10 blocks in a much easier way for the students to count, we now have the answer. To solve the equation, we simply multiply the outside numbers as follows. 10 times 10 equals 100, 10 times 10 equals another 100, 10 times 1 equals 10, 10 times 1 equals 10, 10 times 1 equals another 10. We now move to the row of 6. 6 times 10 is 60 as shown. 6 times 10 is 60 as shown. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. And 6 times 1 is another 6. Here we have the pictorial representation of 23 times 16. It works in much the same way as the base 10 blocks as previously shown. 16 represented by 10 and 6, 23 represented by 10, 10, and 3 to make 23. You simply multiply the two numbers. 10 times 10 equals 100, 10 times 10 equals 100, 10 times 1 equals 10, 10 times 1 equals 10, and 10 times 1 equals 10. We then move on to the 6. 6 times 10 is 60 as shown, and 6 times 10 is 60 as shown. 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 1 is 6, and 6 times 1 is 6. We now have the answer with these base 10 blocks of 23 times 16, which is 368. We are not finished yet, however. We must regroup these base 10 blocks into the fewest number of blocks as possible to make it as easy as we can for the student to get to the solution. We simply substitute out 10 of these flats to equal 100, right here. And we are able to substitute 10 of the 1's blocks for one of these to come up with the simplest solution to 368. This symbolic, non-standard method of multiplication is known as the lattice method. It is an easy way of multiplying two-digit multiplication equations. To start, 23 is placed at the top of the chart up here and 16 across the sides. You simply multiply 3 times 1, which is 3, placing a 0 in the tens place, and 3 times 6 is 18. You then multiply 2 times 1, which is 2, again placing a 0 in the tens place, and 2 times 6 is 12. To get the answer of 368, you simply add the numbers across these lattices. There's 0 here, so we leave it blank. 0 plus 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 plus 2 is 6, and 8 plus 0 is 8. To get an answer of 368. The personal strategy that I chose is the partitioning method, also known as the grid method. This method works by breaking apart two larger numbers into smaller numbers, effectively making the equation easier for students to solve. This strategy works as follows. You draw two lines with a multiplication symbol in the corner. 23 is divided up into 20 and 3, and 16 is divided up into 10 and 6. You then simply multiply the numbers. 10 times 20 is 200, and 10 times 3 is 30. 6 times 20 is 120, and 6 times 3 is 18. You simply add the numbers to get the answers, and add those two answers up to get our final answer of 368.